Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean. I've got my mate Monnie Brown with me again. How you doing, Monnie?
How you doing, Sean? Taking it easy? Ready to bless the people with some of this good boxing knowledge.
Yeah. We're just going to talk about a few current events going on in boxing. We're going to talk about Dillian Whyte, his fight against Lucas Browne. Obviously, Deontay Wilder. We'll talk about Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua, a few other things. We're going to, wait a little bit for a few people to get in here because obviously it might take a while. But why don't we kick off talking about the Anthony Joshua Joseph Parker fight? We can talk briefly about the couple of fights on the undercard. Very interesting one. David Price against Povetkin. What are your initial thoughts on this?
I like the fight. Like I said when I had made my video, I do like the fight. I think it's a good fight. I'm not I'm not a big fan of Alexander Povetkin. I do know his work, because we know what he got caught doing and all that stuff, and we know he got a billionaire behind him that's backing him. But I do think it's a good fight. I'm rooting for David Price. I don't know if he gonna win, but I'm rooting for David Price. I just feel like if he can get in there and he can try to box. I know Alexander Povetkin might be the favorite going in, but I'm rooting for David Price in this fight, man. I want him to win this fight. We know what Alexander Povetkin do, and I think that's what I break that fight down as. But I do know Alexander Povetkin. He is a strong fighter. He will try to put on the pressure. He will try to go and get the knockout. So I think David Price got to try to be smart and try to, keep him in boxing range.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with David Price, obviously, he's been knocked out a couple of times before. People do see him as vulnerable. So someone like Povetkin, who's, a hard puncher, he's got a good amateur background. He's only lost to Vladimir Klitschko, hasn't he?
David Price?
No, Povetkin.
Oh, Povetkin. So, I know Povetkin lost to Klitschko.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And that's it. Yeah, I think he only got one loss.
Yeah, so he's really going to try and put it on David Price. He's going to think that David Price has got no chin, he's got no heart, that he's got no stamina. And that's obviously going to be something that he's going to test. So David Price is a risky fight for him, but I suppose you could say that he doesn't really have that much to lose, does he?
Nope, not really. But
because people aren't really.
I still look.
Go on. Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying people aren't really looking at him as particularly relevant these days, are they? In the heavyweight division, really, not even.
Yeah, but
not even domestic. I still look really.
I still look at David Price as a threat though. I still look at because I say the heavyweight division, all it takes is one shot, and I think David Price knows how to deliver that shot. I think he'd give a better going than Lucas Browne. I'll say that much. I think he'd be a better shape than Lucas Browne. So a fighter like that's disciplined. You always gotta get them a shot in the heavyweight fight.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, because I was saying with David Price, he's not even particularly relevant now in like the domestic heavyweight scene. So really, he's got nothing to lose. Everyone's expecting him to get knocked out.
Right. So I get you now. Yeah, everything's good for him. Everything it's an up and up situation for him. Like you say, he can't go down no 40. He can't. Let's say he can't lose more recognition than he already got.
Yeah, and he's obviously got like a massive punch. He's a lot bigger than Povetkin, and he's actually quite a bit better than. Well, he's better than he shows us. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
He's obviously got more potential than it. I just opened up the chat. We've got MBT Boxing. How's it going, MBT?
Cheers MBT, what's up, my brother?
MBT Boxing. We've got Spartacus the Great in here who watching the Joshua fighting. Good to have you in, lads. As I was saying about the David Price, I mean, he's obviously got like a big punch. He's got a better performance in him than we've seen so far. So who knows, man? I mean, Povetkin. I mean, how active has he been? I saw he fought against. I saw his last fight actually against who was it? Christian Hammer over in Russia. Dominated the fight. Wasn't particularly a good performance from Hammer, but Povetkin hasn't looked as lethal as he did, a while ago. So who knows? I mean, I'm expecting David Price to lose, but anything can happen. So yeah, should we move on then to the fight from last night?
Yeah,
Dillian Whyte, Lucas Browne.
Oh man, and NBT. Shouts out to NBT. I was on NBT Live. We was watching it together, man. Like that fight, we all had Dillian Whyte, as a wipeout. But and we know Lucas Browne, man. He didn't come. It didn't look like he was in the best shape. We knew he was 38 years of age. I did give him a shot. Like if Dillian Whyte stayed there with him, and Dillian Whyte stayed there. Sometimes it was giving him an opportunity. And Lucas Browne, he was landing shots to where you can say, man, if he can land that shot the right way, he could put Dillian Whyte out. And he tried it. So I say Lucas Browne did the best he can do in the best condition he was in. You know what I mean? He had enough time to get in better shape, so he got to blame himself. But that's why I say I got to give Dillian Whyte all the credit in the world, man. He went in, he did what he had to do. He didn't fight the fight scared. Like, he went in, and if you're on a better level than somebody, you got to make it look like you're on a better level than somebody and that you deserve the fights that you're calling for. And the performance that Dillian Whyte put on, knocking out Lucas Browne, whatever anybody say, the man was undefeated. It don't matter if he was 38 or not. He was undefeated. He was knocking everybody out, and Dillian Whyte went in there and knocked him out in one of the best knockouts that we've seen, and probably the knockout of the year. So credit to Dillian Whyte.
Yeah, I'm happy for him because he's, what I mean, he'll fight anyone, Dillian Whyte, and this was like the first time he's headlined a fight, headlined a card. I mean, he's always been on the undercard of Anthony Joshua. Well, he headlined the fight against Anthony Joshua, like for the British title, but he's always been like the secondary. And he's still, obviously, Anthony Joshua is the biggest star, but Dillian Whyte still pulled in quite a big crowd live on American TV, HBO. So to put on a performance like that and knock him out like that, get a sort of highlight reel knockout, is definitely good for his brand. You know what I mean? His name and his stock has definitely gone up with that. The last fight he had against Helenius, I didn't think it was a bad performance. I think Helenius was very negative. He's obviously skillful. He's able to, not get knocked out. When you're fighting someone who's that tall, that slippery, and they don't want to get knocked out, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
so this was definitely a big improvement from that. And it was on
and then, like I said,
not necessarily a bigger stage. Not necessarily a bigger stage, but because he was the headline. It was basically NBT was. I said round 8. You said round 9. What round was it? You got knocked out in. What? I don't even remember what round it was.
It was round 6 because NBT got a whole lot of money. It was round 6.
Okay, yeah. I thought Dillian Whyte potentially would knock him out. I thought it was going to happen late.
No, I thought it was going to be 9. I thought it would have been the 9th round myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good call. I would have said around 9, possibly 10, 11. I think that Lucas Browne, obviously with the inactivity, being quite old, I thought Dillian Whyte was going to outbox him. I think he's just a lot more skillful, a lot quicker on his feet. But I didn't expect him to just dominate like that and really just take him out the way he did. Because like you say, no one's done that to Lucas Browne. I mean, he did fight against he did win the WBA regular title in Chechnya. Right. So he's done that on the road. He's used to fighting on the road. He's fought in England before. I remember he fought against Richard Towers, stopped him. So it's not like this is the first time he's fought abroad. And he's quite familiar with the UK. Obviously, Ricky Hatton's his promoter. He's been over it loads of times. So it's a good win and a very good performance. It was a poor performance from Lucas Browne. So I'm not getting too carried away about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I would say this though, Sean. Like, that's the thing that I say. Like, 2 mans in the ring, and Dillian Whyte, he did what he was supposed to do. Like, and when you look at Dillian Whyte, it's not like he don't fight that way when he get into the ring. Dillian Whyte is a warrior. He is a warrior. So when you see his fights, he always fights. Sometimes the fight might not play out like people may expect it, but it's Dillian Whyte. And like I say, I got to give him more credit because once you got somebody that's want to fight everybody, we got a tendency to say, oh, he don't deserve to fight. He don't do this. He don't do that. But they calling out everybody and they want to fight. Like that fight last night made a lot of Americans say, I want to see Wilder and Dillian Whyte now. Some Americans were saying, oh, Dillian Whyte and Wilder, man, we want y'all. But that knockout made a lot of people say, shit, I'd like to see Dillian Whyte versus Wilder. And then Dillian Whyte only lost is to Anthony Joshua, and he gave Anthony Joshua a hell of a fight. So you got to take that in consideration as well.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he's like number 1 with the WBC. So the only person that I would say that Wilder has fought that I would say is definitely better than Whyte is Luis Ortiz. Now you can argue that Bermane Stiverne is better as well, possibly, but generally he's a solid contender, isn't he? He's number 1. There aren't that many heavyweights in the world who are better than him.
He's solid, but you can't discredit Chris Arreola. No, Chris Arreola is the hell of a fighter.
Well, yeah, but he's sort of seen better days, isn't he? I think Dillian Whyte's like in his peak, and he's not necessarily in his prime, but he's in a lot better condition than
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. He in a better
Ariola
position than
was.
Chris Ariola right now, and he is a little better than Chris Ariola. But Chris Ariola is a former champion, so and he came in hella good shape against Wilder. So and then you got to give
I
Spilker
think
his
Wilder,
credit because Spilker was a gritty fighter. You know,
yeah, yeah. To be fair, actually, that what's his name, Duapar, is probably better than people give him credit for as well. The French one,
the French, yeah, yeah.
because at the time no one really knew who he was, but he's actually gone on to be quite decent. But anyway, like Dillian Whyte would be a credible opponent. So I think the problem for him with a lot of American fans is because of this sort of Wilder Joshua thing. He's just seen as someone who's like in the middle, a bit of a, you know what I mean, a
A a
smoke
a a,
screen.
a
You
smoke
know what I mean?
screen. What people would say, a smoke screen. Yeah,
Yeah, but if you really look at it in his own right, he's someone who's beat like Derek Chisora, beat Lucas Browne, beat Robert Helenius. But these are pretty decent, respectable names to beat, like on your way to challenging for a world title. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. He earned it. I will say this: Dillian Whyte earned it. He earned it, and I say I would like to see Dillian Whyte versus Wilder. I think he like if we can't get AJ and Wilder next, which we know that's not gonna be next. You know, I won't mind Wilder fight a Dillian Whyte, especially coming off a performance like that, because you'll get more credit. But when he do win, I don't want to hear no Brit saying nothing about AJ beat him first. I don't
No,
want to
you
hear that.
won't. I mean, people like, to be honest, like you can't discredit someone who's like the number one contender anyway, really. I mean, you can try, people do, but you know,
Right.
it's a legitimate opponent, isn't it? Whichever way you look at it, regardless of what you think of Dillian Whyte, he's ranked number one by the WBC.
That's right.
So you can't discredit.
And
No, I
he earned
certainly
this way. He
won't.
earned that title shot. He earned it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would make Wilder the favourite in that fight, but I'll definitely give Dillian Whyte a chance of winning. I mean, he's getting better all the time. He's a very good body puncher. He's got very good. He's got very good reach for someone like Wilder's tall and he's got good reach, but Dillian Whyte's got very good reach as well, and he can hit you with those body shots from quite far out.
Yeah, that's true. Dillian Whyte, he got what I like about him, he got activity. You
Yeah,
know, he get in there, he let his hands go. But against a Wilder, he got to look out for the reach. You got to see if Wilder gonna keep him out there. But for me saying, and I'm gonna keep it real with me saying Luis Ortiz getting in the inside like that, and he ain't go to the body that much, you know. But Dillian Whyte, he can make it tough for Wilder. Before Wilder
yeah.
knock him out, he can make it tough.
Well, they present different challenges. I mean, Luis Ortiz is clearly like more skillful than
Yeah,
Dillian Whyte.
for the technique.
Possibly, probably like a harder puncher as well, but he doesn't have the energy that Dillian Whyte has. And you know, Dylan White won't be like sort of gassing out like in round like 9 and all that kind of stuff. He might get knocked out before then, but he does present different challenges. You know what I mean? One thing about Dillian Whyte, he's not going to go into the ring scared of anyone. Doesn't matter how hard you
Oh yeah,
punch, what your reputation.
that's true.
He's
He,
as
he
game
a
as they
Jamaican
come.
man. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
He do got pride. I will say that about Dillian Whyte. He's not afraid. He do got
Nah,
pride,
not at all.
and I don't think he's afraid of getting knocked out neither.
No, not at all. He fought Anthony Joshua like with a bad shoulder. Now, if some people say if that David Hay had said that, you just sort of think, yeah, all right, mate. Do you know what I mean? Here we go again. But Dillian White's the kind of person that, yeah, I believe him. He didn't make excuses about it. He just mentioned it when someone asked him about it. He wasn't saying, oh,
True.
that's why I lost the fight. He could have easily pulled out of that. That was only for like the British title. It wasn't that big an opportunity. But he's basically
True.
there. I want to see who the man is in London. That's what he wanted to do.
Yep.
So he's back down from anyone. He'll fight Wilder in America, no problem.
Yep. But I do think it make more money, and I think it's better recognition for Wilder in the UK. Because I think if Wilder knock out Dillian Whyte in the UK for Dillian Whyte coming off that type of buzz, see in America it'll just be Americans. Oh yeah, we knew he was gonna do that. He was gonna knock him out. And I'm keeping it real because a lot of Americans don't really know Dillian Whyte, and it's like partially watched yesterday and want to see the fight for us hardcores and other people because the fight came on at 5 o'clock over on HBO. But for us going over there to where the Brits are true fans, and once anybody coming over to fight a UK fighter, they coming out to show support. So if he was to, if like I say, Wilder got to make some noise. I don't give a damn what AJ said about not getting in that ring. Wilder got to make some noise after that. And then just say if he do take the fight over in the UK and he knock out Dillian Whyte, I think the Brit fans then a push harder, just like we trying to push for the Joshua fight. I think they're still pushing for the Joshua fight as well.
Yeah, I think basically the whole like Wilder Joshua is just being like built up. That's why this whole like sort of narrative of like Joshua being scared and all this to me is just pretty laughable. If that was the case, Sky Sports wouldn't invite Deontay Wilder on as a pundit. Do you know what I mean? They did it for the Klitschko one as well. They're obviously trying to raise his profile, like build it up and get people more and more interested in it. I saw an interview with Rob McCracken, the coach of Wilder, the sort of Wilder Joshua, and he said what he thinks probably they want to do is get like, because now Wilder's starting to become a lot bigger in America, isn't he?
Well, like I say, y'all just didn't see it, but Wilder always been big in America. It's just that people didn't see it. You know what I mean? So he always had that base in America. So you just got to see what he was doing. And now that he took out Luis Ortiz, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, now that he took out Luis Ortiz, the credible foe that a lot of people know that was a boogeyman, you know, because it was real hype. I mean, that fight did make him, you know, it took him to that level to where it's like, okay, now it's getting serious, you know, it's getting serious. So I think he was a big to a stench, but now, yeah, he's like world level big now.
Yeah, well, I think his sort of viewing figures are getting bigger. He's like making a lot of noise. He's talking a lot. He's probably getting bigger on social media. He's selling more tickets. Like fighting in like the Barclays Centre is sort of becoming quite a big place, isn't it now for boxing? Like that's sort of becoming a bit of a hotbed of like American boxing. So for him to be fighting there, like selling it out against a decent opponent, his notoriety is definitely growing, in my opinion. So if he fights now against a decent opponent in America, it'll probably have much more interest than he would have had like 2-3 years ago.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be a buzz. Like I say, whenever it's the UK versus America and it's that big in the heavyweight division, all the noise been whooping and rambling. It's out like even if it's in America, it's gonna make a lot of noise. But I say in the UK, for as Wilder getting known to the Brit fans, which like I say, if Anthony Joshua can sell out 90,000, and if 90,000 ever see Anthony Joshua, at least 60,000 know who Deontay Wilder is by now, with all the noise being made. At least it got to be. So if he can go over there and really make a statement, you know what I mean? Like I know he can, and put Dillian Whyte out like Dillian Whyte put out Lucas Browne. I think that'd be
to be honest with you, I think it's already like massive in the UK. Like Wilder against Joshua, that's a big fight in the UK. I just think probably they want to make it bigger in America because that's where they sort of really see the big money. That's what I'm starting to think now.
In Vegas, yeah, I think it make more money in Vegas.
Anthony Joshua could like fight anyone in the UK and it'd be massive. I mean, obviously they could build it up a bit.
How much do the tickets be like in the Anthony Joshua fight? Like the highest ticket you think?
I don't know what like the highest ones cost, but you can get pretty cheap ones. Obviously, it's so big, you get like far back. But yeah, like ringside seats, they're not as expensive as they are in like Las Vegas.
Exactly.
No, obviously like Las Vegas, but it's a different crowd, isn't it? Like those sort of Las Vegas, it's more elite sort of style, rich people spending loads of money, and it's not really like that. Like, yeah, and you can see that in the atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like England, like it's more of a sort of working class crowd. Do you know what I mean? People there, yeah, people are spending a bit of money on the ringside seats, but it is more affordable. But yeah, I think that fight in the UK, it's already massive in the UK. Yeah, it can be bigger. If you fought Dillian Whyte in the UK, of course, it would get even bigger in terms of like pay-per-views sold. Because the good thing about it is Dillian Whyte and Wilder are both quite talkative, aren't they? So you get loads of good sound bites. You get people on, you know, like Sky Sports News. You maybe even like BBC News because they're like arguing at press conferences. And do you know what I mean? There'll just be a lot of attention drawn to the fight more than if he was fighting against, I don't know, like Joseph Parker, for example, who was not really going to say much.
Yeah.
But in America, I think they're probably just thinking, yeah, we can make this a lot bigger in America. If we can actually do like pay-per-views over there, then we're laughing.
True.
Probably what they're doing.
I like it though.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to see it, definitely. I'd like to see the fight. I mean, ideally, I'd see like Joshua Wilder next. But if that doesn't happen, then I'd quite happily watch Dillian Whyte against Deontay Wilder.
And
Well, should we talk? What about the?
I'm gonna say this: that we know
God.
Wilder. Shit, my bad. We know Wilder and Joshua not next. So I think that's the for us anticipation and being a big fight. I think that's the fight that can do it for us. The next big fight in the heavyweight division. Besides, because Wilder, Joshua taking on Parker. Now, I do think Dillian Whyte put himself, as 4 or 5 heavyweight in the world after that knockout, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the Anthony Joshua Joseph Parker fight, shall we?
Yep. March 31st.
Yeah, Joseph Parker. Most people pretty much writing him off. What do you reckon about that?
Like I always say, man, it's a good fight. I respect Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker is coming with a lot of momentum. I've been checking out like the people who've been supporting Joseph Parker, man. He got a big ass support cast, I see. And they rooting for him with the Samoans. And he gonna go in that fight with a lot of confidence, man. He an undefeated fighter. He don't know how to lose. He got his mind made up. He a young man. He's strong. Would that be enough to beat Anthony Joshua? I don't think so. I think he gonna go win. Like I say, Joseph Parker got to be smart in that fight, man. If he go in there like really with his heart on his sleeve and try to go power and toe to toe with AJ, he gone in 4 rounds. But if he go in there and try to box and be smart and try to let AJ gas out a little bit and see is his conditioning, go gas out after 6 and then try to put on the pressure, I think he can last and give himself a chance. But looking at it straight up the way Joseph Parker been talking, I hope you don't go in there and try to brawl with AJ like right away, because that's gonna be bad for him. He got to be smart, use his jab, use the tactic. I know you got fast hands, you can move. Everything that he have in his arsenal, he's going to have to use against Anthony Joshua, and not try to use your balls to try to beat Anthony Joshua. But I do got Anthony Joshua winning that fight by knockout, maybe around the ninth round.
What do you reckon the effect of the occasion and the size of the crowd is going to have on Joseph Parker? Because obviously in New Zealand, he's fought in front of I think maybe, I don't know, I heard him say fought 20,000 people, but to be honest, whenever I used to watch the fights on TV, it looked like quite a small arena. But let's say he has fought in front of 20,000 people. That's quite a big crowd. But they're all behind him. Do you know what I mean? The New Zealand, they really get behind Joseph Parker and their fighters. He's going to come to Cardiff. It's going to be like 80,000 people against him. Massive occasion, huge international interest in the fight. Best opponent he's ever fought.
What the capacity going to be?
I'm not sure. I think it's about 78,000, something like that.
So I think
I've been to that stadium before.
I think 78,000 though. I think 78,000 have anybody a little jittery. You know what I mean? Like even Anthony Joshua, even though how calm he say he is, even with him going in there with 78,000 people, he probably still got a little what if in his stuff. Until the fight break out and then they get comfortable, then I think the people won't matter no more.
But he's done it. The first time he ever did it was against Vladimir Klitschko. So it doesn't really get bigger than that. You know what I mean? At that stage in his career, for him to have, just gone from fighting at the O2 to suddenly fighting in front of 80,000 people against, an all-time great.
True.
That for him must have been a moment where and then since then he's fought against Takam in front of 78. He's used to it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Joseph Parker is sort of young, undefeated. He's obviously a formidable opponent, but he's got much more experience in terms of dealing with that sort of size of occasion. Plus the fact they're all on his side.
That's true too.
So
but that's what
I don't know.
I wasn't saying that he wasn't used to it. My thing was it still to make anybody that nervous.
Yeah.
So for him to see 70,000, 78,000, 80 to 90,000, still shit. It's a big ass crowd. I don't want to let my fans down. You know what I mean? I got to come through. But I do get Anthony Joshua credit to handle that pressure so young. You know what I mean? And he handled it quite well. He handled it damn well. So it's gonna be a great fight. And it's just that's why I say the nerves are going to get to Joseph Parker early on. If he uses his head, it'll get to him early on. But as the fight settle in, like around the 4th or 5th round, if you're being smart, everything else goes out the window because you're in fight mode and you've been punched in the face, and everything else don't even matter because you trying to figure out a game plan and not how to get hit in your damn face and land your shots on him.
Yeah, well, both of them look like they're coming in a bit lighter than they have been. Now, Joseph Parker, that's quite interesting with Joseph Parker. In the Hughie Fury fight, he was getting around that ring like pretty well. Now, Hughie Fury is obviously tall, very awkward, switching stances, always on the back foot, very good footwork. And he was, to be honest, like keeping up with him quite well, just sort of chasing him around the ring. I was quite impressed by not necessarily like his performance, but I was quite impressed by the sort of agility in the way that he was able to keep on Hughie Fury. So, and he's in a better shape now than he was then. So if he does decide to use movement, you've got to think he's going to have quite a big advantage based on what I've seen on Joshua in that sense.
This is the biggest fight of his career. This is the biggest fight of his life against, arguably the best heavyweight in the game. You know what I mean? So you got to come in shape, especially when you see AJ losing the weight that he's losing, to try to have more agility, just in case he got to go all in rounds. So just looking at it, man. That's why I say you gotta give people credit who put in the hard work and come in and give a great fight. And that's what both of them doing. I don't think it's gonna be no shortcuts. And I think they're going in to perform. And I think we're gonna get a great fight. I just want Joseph Parker to be smart so he can last longer. You know what I mean? I want him to fight his fight and not fight trying to go in there and match AJ power for power. Because you're going down if you do that type of shit.
Yeah, he doesn't have the size, the power. He doesn't have. He doesn't have the defense. I mean, he's quick on his feet and all that, but when he's like throwing his combinations, he's just wide open. Joshua also throws good combinations, maybe not quite as quickly, but still, for his size, he's fast and he keeps himself well tucked up. I mean, there aren't that many openings when he's there. So for Parker to win, he's going to have to move and like pick his spots. I don't think he's going to do it. I think that it's going to be too much. I think Joshua, they're kind of similar in a way in terms of they're both combination punchers. Parker's a little bit quicker, but I think just the size, strength of Joshua is going to be a bit too much, really. I don't see Parker knocking him out. I don't believe that Joshua's like really chinny, like some people try to say. Whether Joseph Parker is as tough as they claim he is, I mean, we'll see, won't we?
Yeah,
it's one thing like being able to take a few punches here and there, but taking like sustained punishment from someone like Joshua for 12 rounds, I'll be very impressed if he can. Especially because he doesn't really defend him. You know what I mean? He hasn't got that good defense. As I say, he sort of walks back with his chin in the air. So unless he's really on his bike for 12 rounds, I don't see him being able to sort of take the punishment.
I look at it as he has to come in, and because Joshua the older guy, and I always, when you're that young like that, I always favor the older guy because both of them young. But I think Joshua more mentally stronger, to be exact with you. And I really believe Joshua is more mentally strong. I look at the face-off. I look at how they talk. And I'm not saying that Parker is not mentally strong, but I can tell Joshua is more mentally strong because I see Parker. I look at who goes off each other vibe. I see Parker going off for AJ vibe more, and I think AJ get in that ring. And if Parker can't get to the body early on and he's going to have to go for it because he's not going to win a decision. I think he just have to try to get to the body and get it past the 6th round. And then he got to try to come on and bang it out and try to see what he can do. Because he got to win the round convincingly, because we know he's not getting any close rounds. And I'm not just saying that because they're in the UK, but he's not getting no close rounds against a champion like that.
No, and also, like, I mean, let's be realistic. You've got 80,000 people in there who are going to be, most of them drunk, going mental every time, like Joshua, goes like within 6 inches of him. Do you know what I mean? That's going to affect the crowd there, the judges. That's the fact that we've got the biggest fight in boxing, like being built up, against Deontay Wilder potentially. So, if you wanted to be cynical, you could say it's not going to be. Do you know what I mean? You'd be very surprised if Joseph Parker was to sort of get in the way of that, like on points. Do you know what I mean?
True.
I'll just say that. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen. In terms of saying about the sort of mental aspect, Joshua, like since very early on in his career, has had a lot of pressure on him and a lot of focus on him. So obviously, he won the Olympic gold medal in London. He's from London. So very early on, he was like headlining shows in front of big crowds. He was actually on pay-per-view for a British title fight in a grudge match. So he's just used to dealing with a lot of pressure. Fought Vladimir Klitschko, obviously in front of 80,000 people. That was broadcast all around the world. he's always managed to maintain his composure pretty much. I mean, he kind of didn't, I suppose, in the Dillian Whyte fight, but he still won the fight, didn't he? The Joseph Parker, I think this is going to be a bit much for him, like the occasion. And then when you put the physical aspect in as well, I just can't see him. I reckon it's going to be I don't know. I mean, I want to see like the weigh-in, and I see the final press conference and all that. Joseph Parker, I would say, has been looking a bit more confident than he first did when he came over. Because when he first came over, and like Higgins, his promoter, and they were all kind of giving it the big one quite a bit while they were in New Zealand. Then they came to London, and they're a bit respectful. They weren't really, do you know what I mean, engaging and all that, and they didn't look too confident. I think maybe Joseph Parker's a bit more comfortable with it now. I think that might have had something to do with just the amount of attention, all the media attention, and just the magnitude of the event. Do you know what I mean?
True.
So I think
true,
now
very true.
he's probably had a bit more time to get used to it, and he does seem a bit more confident. He seems a bit more relaxed.
I mean, once it gets to fight time,
definitely looking forward to it.
I feel like that's what they do best. Once it get to fight time, it's like some of the pressure go off with the media, and the only thing I do is focus on what you know how to do best. So I will give them that. I will give them that.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it because obviously it's, I wouldn't say overshadowed, but because of all the hype with like Joshua and Wilder, loads of people are talking about that rather than this fight, which really
I don't
it's
think,
massive.
Yeah, it's massive, but I don't think it'll overhype this fight. I just think with Wilder, he being a broadcaster now, he go broadcast the fight. It's like Joshua got to really be focused and get the fight won, first of all. And he know that. And I understand what he say when he not trying to worry about Wilder, this, that, and the third. But once the fight over, you know what the talk's going to be. You know what I mean?
Of course,
you know what the talk's going to be. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, and that's fair enough. I mean, that's what it should be. I mean, that's the obvious next big fight, isn't it? But like, while this one has got, I like the fact that Joshua's not really talking about Wilder. He should be focused on
it's not the next big fight, Cheddar. It's the biggest fight you can make in boxing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fight that you can make in boxing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe it's a value Cleverly rematch.
Say that again?
Yeah. Maybe a sort of Tony Bellew, Nathan Cleverly rematch, possibly. But apart from that, I'd say it's the biggest one.
No, this is the biggest fight that you can make in boxing this year.
Yeah, definitely. No, but like Joshua's doing, that's the thing. Joshua, people don't really understand. I think he's just very focused. He's not really interested in people like saying that Joshua needs to do this. He needs to talk this. He's always been like this. Do you know what I mean? I've followed him throughout his career, obviously from the start. This isn't something new that now he's like suddenly acting out of character. He's always been like this. He's always been very, very focused on what he's doing, and he doesn't really get involved in all the hype. You know what I mean? Wilder,
the one thing he can't do.
Wilder's more like of a character. He's more of an entertainer, isn't he? Which personally,
that's Wilder personality. That's not a character.
Yeah.
So
okay, but
when Joshua talk about freezing him out the ring, that's where you get problems and people start thinking certain things. Because like we all know that's boxing though, Cheddar. Whether Joshua like it or not, that's boxing. You can't deny somebody that you say that's not really known to not get in the ring, and you got 60, 70,000 people there. And I mean, that's just great hype for the fight. Whether you say you like the hype or not, hype is what sells the fight. Even though we know Josh was selling out the arenas anyway, but hype is what sells the fights, and people want that. People want that face-to-face action. I definitely want that face-to-face action.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I definitely, I hope he does. I hope he does get in the ring. I mean, but people have blown this up. I mean, he said he made some comment about, I don't think people are saying, he sort of banned him. I don't think it's anything like that. Hopefully, like he does get in the ring.
No. It's not. That's sarcastic talk. When people be like, he put out, that's just sarcastic talk. Like he put a ban on him, or he put a restraining order on him.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's just sarcastic.
No, I know.
Being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know that, like the restraining order, but people like saying as if like Joshua is like, making sure that the security won't let. I don't see that, mate. If that was the case, they wouldn't have invited him on Sky Sports. Do you know what I mean? To be the commentator.
Yeah, I don't think it's that, man. I don't think it's that. People probably just saying that.
I just think they're different characters. I loved it when Fury and Wilder were in the ring, because Fury and Wilder are both those kind of characters, aren't they? They're sort of big mouths.
Yeah,
they're quite similar.
Right. They both talkers. Yeah.
But Joshua, he's not really like that. Do you know what I mean? He's not that kind. And also, I think to be honest, there's two things where I think Joshua probably wouldn't need about Wilder. First of all, Joshua is
I
he's
would
got
say
like,
he a laid back killer. Joshua, for the most part, he is a laid back killer. I give him that. I can't
but
deny that.
but I think he's got a bit of a temper on him. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he really wants to show that side, like to the sort of fans. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But he's the kind of character. If he gets into confrontation, I don't think he really wants that, like in the ring. Do you know what I mean? Where someone like Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, they love all that. They love all the hype. There's all WWF style antics. And me
But the
too.
thing
As a
is,
fan,
like,
I want to try
you
to
never
watch.
know how Wilder go approach though. Wilder don't approach people like he the boogeyman or this that. It's all about what's up, man. Is we go fight or what? Even though he been saying what he's
Yeah,
saying, Joshua said what he said. At the end of the day, that was seller fights. That was, you know what I mean? That would get Americans into it. I mean, the Brits already into it. That would get the Americans fully into it. Like, oh shit, like
yeah,
it's real. We like to know that it's real. Like, fuck it, it's real. So let's see it happen. You know. So at the end of the
yeah.
day, I think he should get his ass in that ring. You know,
I
and
hope so.
however Joshua take it, he take it.
Yeah, I mean, I think to be honest as well, like Wilder's a much better talker than Joshua. You know what I mean? So if they're going to be if they're in the ring and they're like having a bit of back and forth, I think like Wilder's going to win the verbal exchange. I think he's a sort of more quick-witted. Do you know what I mean? With his speaking, Joshua's a bit, especially after just had a fight. Do you know, because it's really a tough fight. Do you know what I mean? There's a good chance that it's going to be like a 12-round war. I mean, we
That's
don't know
true.
how tough Parker is. And also, I mean, we've seen, we know Joshua can hit hard, but it's not like he's sort of blasting people unconscious. Do you know what I mean? Every part, he's generally stopping people. So,
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? If Parker could well go 12 rounds, if he's been a real tough war with Parker over 12 rounds, maybe he doesn't really need getting into an argument. Who knows? Personally, I hope it does happen because I like all that stuff. I like it's just
Hey,
entertainment, isn't it?
Joshua can talk shit, man. Joshua can talk
He
shit if he
can
wants
do.
to. Trust and believe. Yeah. I know what you're
He
saying. Like he
can
probably
do.
don't like to show it, but Joshua, he's very articulate. He's very clever with his words. But trust and believe, he got that dirty side to him. You talk
Oh,
disrespect
yeah, he has, yeah.
like he told what he tell Brazil. Don't come over here talking over here. You know, like
Yeah, but
all
that's
you
what I'm
do.
saying. That's what he
Yeah,
was. He sort of switched on him. He was like that. He switched on him like, mate, I'm gonna fucking headbutt you if you don't get out of my face, kind of style. That's more like what he's like. You know what I mean? Like
true.
him getting like
Hey,
that with Wilder, whereas someone like Deontay Wilder, someone like Tyson Fury, it's kind of tongue in cheek, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And they're good
yep.
at it, and they're good at like winding you up. But Joshua, I don't think he really likes that. So if someone like Wilder, because he's said a lot of stuff. I mean, let's not forget. I mean, he's accused him of taking PEDs, quite a lot of
Hey,
pretty outrageous
they
stuff, really. Let's be
they
honest. That he
both
said.
they both said a lot. You know, they both said
Well,
a lot.
Wilder especially. I mean,
But
Wilder's especially said some quite
when emotions run
disrespectful
like that,
stuff.
you say things when emotions run. You know, and it's just to
Yeah,
get under the skin. That's all it is, to get under the skin. People don't have, you know, and then certain people don't take it serious, but it is what it is. Like, they fighters, man. You know, ain't no
yeah,
friends. When you're trying to make a fight, ain't no friends.
yeah. Of course, but I'm saying like Joshua's probably thinking like, I don't like this bloke. He said a lot of stuff. I don't want him coming in my fight. Do you know what I mean? I'll be tempted to fucking slap him. Who knows?
Hey,
But
do what you got to do in that ring. If that's how you feel. But Wilder need to get his ass in that ring. I know that much.
yeah,
Like
I
I said,
think.
if it ain't no security guards wrestling you down, or nobody forcing you back, you better get in that ring. Even if they don't even acknowledge you, the cameras will. You know what I mean? So get your ass in that
Yeah.
ring.
Dillian Whyte's going to be there. That's interesting,
Yep.
mate. I'll tell you what, I'd like to be I'd like to be there to see Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder have a
Oh
little,
yeah.
confrontation. That'd be interesting.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a lot. You saw what Tony Bella say. I talked all they say when I gave him a hug. He's fucking massive. He's fucking arms went around me. He's massive.
The thing is, like Tony Bellew, like fair play to him, but he was like a light heavyweight, wasn't he? And
Hell
he
yeah. Hell
fought
yeah.
cruiserweight. It was always ridiculous the idea that he was going to beat like Wilder. To be honest, do
But
you
I
know what I
like
mean? We
Tony
still,
Bellew because Tony Bellew, he real, man. He keep it everything. He don't fake it. He don't fake a sugarcoat. That's why I like
yeah,
Tony Bellew.
but Dylan White's no Tony Bellew. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, Dylan White, he's a bit of I mean, he's obviously older now, but there's nothing fake about him. He's a right hothead. Do you know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? He's all
Trust me,
like did Deontay Wilder. Obviously, had that with
trust me,
Dominic Brazil.
trust and
So
believe
he
Dylan is
probably
gonna
is as
approach
well.
Wilder.
That's the thing, but like they're both similar kind of characters in that respect, aren't they? So obviously, Deontay Wilder had that thing with Dominic Brazil, ended up like kicking him in, didn't he, or something like that? I don't know. So both of them are quite fiery characters. So I don't know. I think if you were a bouncer at that, like you saw Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte getting close to each other, you probably think, oh fucking hell, here we go. You know what I mean?
Yep, it's true. It's true. Like I say, they both very passionate and emotional. That's what we can say. They both very passionate and emotional. So, like I say, once they see each other, Dillian Whyte is most definitely, is going to approach Deontay Wilder. I know that for a fact. And Deontay ain't backing down. He ain't backing down.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they better have some good security there. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think they will. But I think they both keep. I think they both keep it respectable.
They're not stupid. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Dillian Whyte knows that he has the potential to now. He's got the potential to earn a lot of money, really make a name for himself in boxing. He's not like going to just go up and like kick off. But there's definitely going to be a verbal altercation.
Yeah. Strong.
Hopefully, it doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah, strong verbal words. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, last thing. Do you have anything else you want to say about this?
No, I just wanted to talk about Josh Kelly a little bit, man, because I'm a big fan of Josh Kelly, and he fighting Carlos Molina, and I like Josh Kelly, man. He got the skills to pay the bills, man. I love skills on fighters. I love skills on fighters. You know, I do love even though I talk about Lomachenko, people think I don't like him. I really like Lomachenko, and Josh Kelly showed me those type of skills, man. The man do got skills, and I respect him on that. So it's gonna be a good fight to look forward to on the undercard. I'm just looking for him. Carlos Molina, he's a tough little opponent, but Josh Kelly go watch him. He go have his way with him. Carlos Molina, he tough. He come forward, a rugged little Mexican, try to press you out. But Josh Kelly go have his way. And I just like watching Josh Kelly work, man. I think he is a superstar in the making. Just move him the right way, and I think his name, can go down in history, man. That's how good I think Josh Kelly is. I can't lie. I think his name can go down in history.
Yeah, he's looking like really flash at the moment. He's just sort of taking the piss, really, isn't he, when he's fighting, like doing stuff that you wouldn't expect him to do against decent opposition. Obviously, he's early on in his career, but just the speed and the reflexes that he has, you can tell he's very, very gifted.
Yes, and then he ain't even reached 100% neither.
No, but a lot of the stuff he does, the sort of showboating and all that, he's going to have to. Well, I don't know. It'd be good if he could continue doing that at the higher levels, but you got to think as he steps it up a bit, he's going to have to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, but he got the skills to adapt. That's what I like about him. He can adapt, so he'll know if it's tough, and that's why I want to see him against tough opponents. I like his skills, and when I like somebody, I like him, man. Can't nobody turn me away from him, And I just think he got the skills to adapt, and I'm gonna be checking on Josh Kelly, man. That's a name to remember.
It's a big step up for him, really, isn't it? Because this bloke, like, obviously, he's a former world champion. Don't know if he can take a punch yet.
Yeah, Carlos Molina, he tough and gritty, but he's what I see from him, he's not really a threat to where he can threaten Josh Kelly, because Josh Kelly's skills that's on a whole nother level. But he can try to make it rough and tough with his tough style, so we can see how Josh Kelly can handle that type of style of fighting. Because Molina, he go come to fight. You know what I mean? He go in and he fight until you knock his ass out, and he go bring that. And I think we go see how Josh Kelly handle a pressure style, and I think it's gonna look damn impressive if you ask me.
Yeah. I've definitely got high hopes for him. I just want to see him get hit, see if he can take a punch.
True.
So that's obviously a big test. All right, one last thing before we finish this. We want to touch on the obviously we've got Charlos, Billy Joe Saunders, Kell Brook. Because it's almost like a tag team. I mean, Kell Brook. I'm a massive Kell Brook fan. Kell Brook, Tyson Fury, probably like my two favorite fighters, have been for a long time. Kell Brook, I know how good he is, but obviously he's just gone up to 154 light middleweight. He's got the damaged eyes. I need to see him have a couple more fights before we can start talking about people like Jermell Charlo. So I don't want to see him rushed into anything like that. Because I rate Charlo. I think he's very good. I think Kell Brook is as well. But we need to see more from him, like the sort of Kell Brook, if you like. If it happened right now.
Situation, I agree, man. That's why I say Rabchenko was a good start for momentum. so he can see, all right, I can still fight, but he got to get in there and fight somebody that's gonna push him, and he got to get in there with somebody that's gonna hit him and really see how his face hold up and really see how the damage go. I think he very aware of that. Eddie Hearn said that one more fight, then we'll see. That's why I said this next fight, it need to be somebody, you know what I mean, that's gonna be tough, a young tough kid that's rough, you know what I mean, to see what's going on, and see could he really handle the pressure and the power. The pressure and the power punching of them type of fighters at 154. But I don't see him beat Jamel Charlo. Yeah, I don't see Kell Brook beating Jamel Charlo. I don't see it. He can cause problems, but I think Jamel Charlo is just he come to his own.
No, I can see it, mate. If Kell Brook puts together, if he sort of gets back to like the sort of form he had at welterweight, but like being like at this new weight and adapted to it, yeah, I can definitely see it. I'm not saying that I can't see Charlo beating him as well, but he's fucking good, Kell Brook, like when he's at his best. He's had 2 fights at light middleweight. He fought against Carson Jones in the rematch. Yeah, he looked like a beast in that fight as well.
But we know Carson Jones ain't no Charlo. Charlo was a whole
different Carson Jones is no Charlo, but I'm just making the comparison to how Kell Brook looked at that weight. We've seen him fight twice, and he looked very good.
I mean, anytime you see him at 154 come up from saving a little weight and you can stay in shape with it, I think you always gonna look better. It's just, to me, how it's like, even though the right eye held up good against Earl Spence, it was the left eye. I don't think it'll be the eye problem. I won't even say the eye problem. It's just gonna be mentally the physicality. And Kell Brook is a big dude, but we know Charlo get bigger. And I just want, like, Charlo and them, they got strong jabs, so that can be a problem too. Strong jabs to the face. But let me say this: Kell Brook is a tough dude, man, and he can fight. He can fight, but I just don't see him beating Jamel. I just can't see it.
I'll tell you one thing, mate. Him, like Billy Joe Saunders joining that camp has definitely given him a kick up the arse that he needed. It's given him, obviously, both of them, Billy Joe Saunders and Kell Brook, 2 of the most gifted fighters we have in the UK. So for them 2 to be training together now, it's brilliant for both of them. And they're kind of inspiring each other, obviously pushing each other in training, giving each other quite a bit of confidence, I think. I've seen, like, I follow Kell Brook on Facebook as well. He put a video out the other day, him training, saying, like, 2018, 'tis the season to brack man up. He's obviously, you know what I mean, feeling full of confidence and he wants to get back into it again. But yeah, Jamel Charlo, that's too early. I want to see something from him first before he goes in like that. Billy Joe Saunders against Jamel Charlo, that would be absolute quality. I'd love to see that.
Now that's one hell of a fight, man. Like, that's a fight that I can't count Billy Joe out. I just want to say this too: when you train on the side of another world champion like Kell Brook is with Billy Joe, it gives you that extra because you see a different type of work ethic. You know what I mean? But they might spar each other, because Billy Joe, he's a confident dude, very confident dude. So and he haven't lost, so you get that type of feeling back again because you see him working. It's like shit. You know what I mean? That's what I like. The jam good. You and I with another world champion. Billy Joe signed to bring a great move, so it's gonna fire you up, and that could be great motivation for Kell Brook, and that's just what he need in the time that he was in, But with Jamal and Billy Joe, that's a hell of a fight, man. Like I said, I always have respect for Billy Joe. I know a lot of people calling him this, that, but I always liked the Billy Joe. I always said his defense was superb. I knew he was gonna do that shit to David Lemieux. You know what I mean? I knew the Willie Monroe fight was a fluke. I knew it was a fluke because they both are boxers who need punchers. So the Jamal versus Billy Joe would be a great fucking fight because it's a boxer puncher versus a boxer mover. And I think Jamal can play the puncher role just great to fight a boxer. And it'd be could Jamal catch Billy Joe? That's what that fight would be. Could he catch him?
Yeah, he could. I mean, he's got a good chin though as well. Saunders. I mean, he's been hit a few times and he takes them pretty well.
Yep.
To be honest, the build-up for that would be absolute quality. They're both like entertaining characters, aren't they? They're both like very confident, like talk a lot of shit. Like, it would be
Oh yeah, two undefeated fighters, man.
Yeah.
Billy Joe champion now, former world champion, so they've been on that high class level. That fight will be a 50-50 fight, but I'll be going with Charlo. But it's a 50-50 fight because I won't count Billy Joe out. I won't count Billy Joe out that fight. I won't count Billy Joe out even though I like Canelo, I won't count him out against Canelo. I won't count Billy Joe out against Gennady Golovkin either. That's what I think of Billy Joe Saunders. I don't care what nobody say. That's what I think of Billy Joe Saunders. I won't count him out of no fight.
I think Saunders would beat Canelo. To be honest, I think Canelo's stylistically, I think Billy Joe Saunders. Golovkin going to be tougher. I think Danny Jacobs potentially is like the hardest fight for Billy Joe Saunders, in my opinion. For me, I think I rate Danny Jacobs as the number 2 in the middleweight division after Golovkin right
Me
now
too.
until
I'm with you on that.
like proves otherwise. I like Charlo. I like Billy Joe, but for me, he looked the most sort of complete.
No what I go. This is just my thing. I go Triple G, Canelo, and I gotta give the Billy Joe next. I got Billy Joe 3.
Yeah, in terms of
I got Canelo number 2.
I'd say Billy Joe Saunders is a world champion. Danny Jacobs isn't, but just in terms of who I think is better, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen like the performance against Golovkin that's better than anything I've seen Billy Joe Saunders do. Because Lemieux, he shut him out, but Lemieux is no Golovkin, is he? Let's be honest.
That's true too. But like I say, I still got to see Billy Joe against Triple G. Like I don't take nothing for Jacobs.
Yeah.
You know, Jacobs fought one hell of a fight. I got him 4. I just like I look at the stylistically and the styles. You know.
Yeah.
Jacobs one hell of a boxer that can move, but you know I don't see Billy Joe. Even though you can say he fought Golovkin went down against him, I seen Jacobs go down a couple times. You know, I don't think has Billy Joe ever been down? Never been down.
No, I've never seen him down. No.
They can say the competition or not, but when you let Sergio Moore put you down, I know people gonna say, "Oh, Sergio Moore this and that." I don't think Sergio Moore will ever put Billy Joe Saunders down. Never. So I gotta put Billy Joe number 3.
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, though, that Moore knocked down. He was just off balance, really, wasn't he? He knocked him down, and then he came running in, and he was literally like sort of totally squared up. And I think
Moore knocked him down.
Yeah, he knocked him down, but I reckon he sort of caught him off balance more than anything else. I don't think he really hurt him or anything like that.
He knocked him down. You gotta give it to him.
He did knock him down, but I don't think that's an indication that like Jacobs has got like a weak chin or anything like that. I think it was just a
I know what you're saying.
I think I want to see the fight. Don't get me wrong. Jacobs, Charlo, Saunders, they're all like good, and I want to see them all fight each other. But as of right now, I personally just sort of think that Jacobs improved a little bit more to me, anyway.
Right.
But Charlo, Jacobs, obviously that's a good one that's building up in America. I like Danny Jacobs. I think I'm more of a fan of the Charlos, to be honest. I prefer like their style, like they're good characters.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So if that fight does happen, I'd be rooting for Jamal Charlo. I don't know whether I think he would win. I'd like to see a bit more from him before I think he could beat Danny Jacobs, but I don't know. These are all. It's getting quite exciting, isn't it? The middleweight division. Like Canelo, Canelo's good, but really at middleweight, all he's done is get like a sort of gift draw against Golovkin, and he was probably PEDs at the time as well. So I don't really think that he's done enough in that division for him. Just his name, basically. I wouldn't put him above. I mean, Jacobs Jacobs
overall scores resume Canelo number 2.
Yeah, but not in that division though. Do you know what I mean? Like Jacobs in that division, he's fought against Golovkin, and like Jacobs much better performance against Golovkin than he did. Don't get me wrong, Canelo was all right against Golovkin. He did better than I thought. And if it wasn't for the ridiculousness of the judges,
Canelo beat Golovkin.
Yeah, you think he won?
Yeah.
You think he won?
Yeah.
Nah,
I think Canelo
no way,
did
mate.
better than Jacob.
No chance did he? I think Jacobs could have been a draw, in my opinion. Legitimately a draw.
I think I had Jacobs winning too.
I thought Canelo. I gave Golovkin the edge, but I thought it was a very close fight, and I wouldn't have complained if it had gone the other way. I thought it was one of them. But Canelo, like I think he won about 4 rounds to me.
Oh no! Canelo won the first 3 and the last 3 to me. And I think I could have edged one of the other rounds. You got to watch it, Charlie. You got to watch it close. You got to watch it really close.
Yeah, well, I've seen it a couple of times, mate. Well, we'll have to agree to disagree on that. No way did Canelo win that fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got to agree to disagree. Unless we watch it together, then I can change our mind. If we watch it together, you'll say, Monnie Brown, you're a fucking genius. That's what you'll say.
Jacobs would beat Canelo as well, all day long.
Yes, sir.
I think Jacobs beat pretty easily, to be honest. Well, I don't know about easily because obviously Canelo could knock him out, but I think Jacobs, if he fought the right fight, he'd beat him without too many problems. Billy Joe Saunders
Yep.
as well.
This fight, the second fight, is gonna happen though. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. I mean,
But
to be honest, I'd rather see Billy Joe Saunders against Golovkin, but it is what it is. Money talks, doesn't it?
Money talks. Yep.
Yeah.
Money talks. I said if the Canelo fight don't happen, I think Billy Joe will be next. Because Golovkin said he'll take on Billy Joe next if he don't get the Canelo fight, which I think the Canelo fight gonna happen, man. The April 10th shit, I think this will go there, and I think K2 and Abel Sanchez just want stipulations. That's all they want, and I think they go get him. But Canelo go test clean from on out because Canelo is a clean fighter. Everybody, he is a clean fighter. I'm gonna repeat that again.
I mean, I don't know. I tend to sort of stay away from the sort of PED stuff, to be honest, because I'm not really that educated on it. But I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical about that.
Right. So that's for another day. That's for another day.
Yeah. All right, mate. You got anything else? I think we've covered everything, haven't we?
Yeah, we covered everything. I think it's a great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
Definitely looking forward to next week. Got obviously the Joshua Parker, Josh Kelly on there, David Price. Hopefully David Price can do the business. Fingers crossed. So yeah. Well, yeah. Well, thanks for coming on there, mate.
All right, let me sign off to the British people, man. I love the UK. I want y'all to subscribe to Monnie Brown TV. You understand? I love the UK. I love a lot of fighters from the UK. I will be visiting the UK to see my boy Chatter, even though he's not there right now. You know, we go get it in. You know, hashtag ANSBC Chatter. You know, ain't nobody safe in this boxing business. ANSBC. Ain't nobody safe.
Absolutely, mate. I'll fly back for that, mate. Fly back for that.
Yes,
Go
sir,
to
yes, sir.
O2 or something. Have a few beers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, mate. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Catch you later.
Thanks to everyone in the chat. See you next time.
Yep.